So, it's been a while. I meant to get back to this sooner, but life with 4 kids and life in general, things get away from me. So, my real life paranormal experiences part 2. This one does take place shortly after the last one I mentioned, which I guess I meant to start at the end and go back to the beginning, but I don't know. That one seemed to stand out more to me. This one is a bit freakier. So, again, I had just put my child down for a nap, and I was not asleep in any way. I was just sitting there, and I flipped over to get up to move out of the bed. And as I sat up, there was a little boy standing in the corner of my room, and he saw me. He knew I saw him. The thing is like his face, like his body was staying the same. He was like almost like black and white, or like faded-ish. Like he had dirty clothes and anyway, I just like a white t-shirt, dirty clothes, and like some sort of pants, but like the memory in my head screams black and white, but I don't know. Anyways, his face, this is the part that stood out the most. His face was like morphing. Like I couldn't get a solid featured face on him. It was morphing. Like it was like morphing from, I don't know, just like I don't know how to explain it. It was almost like swirling. He was standing in front of my bathroom door in my room, and I didn't get like a negative feeling or a sad feeling. It was just there, and it was like, oh. And afterwards, like again, he like, after like watching his face swirling, I was like, oh my god. I didn't like freak out, but I was just like frozen, like just staring, like, what is this? So and then he just slowly started fading away until he was completely gone. But the weird part is like, I didn't stare at him the whole time, because I looked around the room, and there were like, this is going to sound kind of unbelievable, and I don't know if I should put this part in there, but just in honesty, like there were like 5 or 6 like mist like figures around the room that were just like pillars of mist almost. It's almost like for a second I was seeing into another world that like just faded away. It was really crazy. The mist obviously had no features or anything. It was just like mist figure, like mist pillars almost. I don't know how to explain it. Like I felt like they were almost protective or something, and like I think that the boy may have been mischievous or not human necessarily. I don't get the feeling that he was human. I get the feeling that he was mischievous and not necessarily a good thing to have in my house. So after everything like happened, I kind of went on a whole taking back my home and protecting my house, and pushing everything out and surrounding myself in like light, and my family members in light. And I spent a lot of energy on that. I think there was a good few months there that I would not sleep in complete darkness. I had to have like the lights on. And both of the experiences I've mentioned so far, these happen in the broad daylight, in the middle of the day. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's just, I do not afterwards get the feeling that it was a positive being or spirit or whatever. But that was the most recent time, the last and final time I have seen anything like that. So yeah, there's that one. I have not seen anything in my home since. I've not felt anything in my home since, but I did kind of go overboard and still kind of do like practice like protection of my home for my family and my kids and myself. So that one was one that got me, though. It was kind of freaky. And yeah, I don't know who he was. I had never seen him before. As far as face, I could not tell you what his face looked like, because it was just morphing the entire time I was looking at him. Again, I think the mists were like, I don't know, protection. I think they were like, I don't know if they were family. I don't know what, I honestly don't know, but if I had to go with my gut, I would say that they were guides or family that were there protecting me from whatever the heck that was. So, yeah. Oh, I guess there's one more part to this. Like, those experiences were like a week or two apart after my third son was born, who is now 6. Um, and the the thing about that, right before those experiences happened, I had this weird dream. Like, I laid down and took a nap one day, and I had a weird dream. And in the dream, I was like visiting like a shaman, in my dream, and the shaman, I was standing with like what I can only describe as what I would call now a guide, though at that time I just knew I had complete trust in who was with me. And the shaman handed me a cup and said it's time to reopen your third eye, but I have to warn you, you may see things that are not things you necessarily want to see. You will see all spirits, not just good spirits, and it may not be fun. So I know this sounds really crazy and kind of out there, but this dream it just stood out as being very realistic. And I held the cup in my hand, always, having experienced things like spirits in different ways in my life, throughout my life at different times. Like, I don't know, I was kind of excited. I was like, yeah, let's do this. I want to see, I always had this like love of the paranormal and this. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, let's go. I want to see everything. I want, answers. I want to know the world. So I, of course, drank the cup down without a second thought about it. And then after that was when these two experiences happened, and I had not had any experiences like that intense since I had been a kid. So I've had other experiences, but not as intense as these two were. And I don't know if I mentally have shut myself back down, or after just being so freaked out by the little kid that like I may have mentally just like shut everything off, or I don't know. I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds weird. I'm a bit of a weird person, but so yeah, that happened, and that was all after my 6-year-old was born. Within like the first year of his life, all 3 of those things had happened. I want to say that he was about 6 months old when around 6 months old when all that stuff happened, because it was summer. So yeah, and that's it. Come back and catch some older paranormal stories that have happened in my life. I will try to get a video out much quicker than I did this one. Sorry about that.